name is Christina Valdez with KOAM News Now, and today with our Welcome Home, we are talking with someone that specializes in insurance. And next to me is Kyle Hickam and Shannon Wilson. How are you guys doing?
Great, thank you.
How are you today?
I'm doing just fine. And Kyle, my first question to you is, how long have you been in business with State Farm?
Well, if you look at my billboard, which is over in Webb City, and see my picture up here, you can tell it's been a long, long time. So I opened this office in 2001, but I've been with the company 37 years now.
And tell me a little bit about the history of how long you've been here.
So I started with State Farm in 1987 in Springfield, Missouri as a claim rep. And I moved from a claim rep to a management person, which I transferred to Kansas City, Missouri. After Kansas City, I was moved to Columbia in another management position, and then eventually to Bakersfield, California, where I was for a couple of years before transferring back here as an agent in 2001.
My goodness, you have just an amount of job descriptions in your resume. That is amazing. And why should clients choose Kyle Hickam State Farm specifically?
Well, there's a lot of reasons, I think, and I'm going to use State Farm first. I mean, you're talking about a company that in June of this year will be 102 years old. I mean, companies don't stick around that long. So you've got a 102-year-old company that's 42nd in the Fortune 500. We're the number one auto insurer and have been since 1942. We're the number one home insurer and have been since 1964. And we took over the number one life insurance about 3 or 4 years ago. So there's a lot of reasons why a company would want to be with State Farm. Why Kyle Hickam Agency? I've got an incredible staff of about 8 or 9 people, over 120 years office experience. I've got 2 offices, and I've got a kind of a unique thing that maybe not a lot of agents have, but I spent 15 years in claims before I became an agent. So that gives me a little bit of an edge that when you do have a claim, I can speak that language because I've done it before.
Now, Ms. Shannon, what can people expect while going into the process of putting together their home insurance?
Okay. So when you call into the office, we actually use what's called a estimated replacement cost tool. And we use this to find how much we need to insure your home for. So there's a huge misconception whenever purchasing home insurance. Some people think that they just need to have home insurance for the amount of the mortgage or how much they purchased the home for. And that's inaccurate because as an insurance company, we have to rebuild your house tomorrow if you have a total loss. And so we used price per square footages about 5 years ago. We could rebuild a home for $80 or $90 a square foot. With today's costs, those costs have gone up about 50%. So 120 is our base now. That's where we will start. We'll go over your year of the home, the square footage, we'll go over how many bedrooms, bathrooms, all of that, and it actually gives the insured a chance to actually participate in evaluating their home. And so we also recommend yearly evaluations as well for that.
And with the economy going up, things are getting very pricey. And how can you help a client with those problems?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are some things that we can do to help mitigate those costs, and I think Kyle may talk a little bit more about that as well.
Yeah.
So, the home, it's more than just a house when we talk about coverage for the home, right? What happens if the breadwinner of that family loses their life? And the next day, the surviving spouse is figuring out, what am I going to do? Especially if that surviving spouse is not working. So we also want to talk to them about ways that we can maybe pay off that house for them in the event of the death of an insured, so that now the surviving spouse can spend time mourning instead of scrambling around trying to find a job, figure out what they got to do next, how am I going to pay the bills? So we do want to move from the homeowners into other aspects of insurance just so we can help you cover all of your needs, not just that house, because the house goes further than that.
Well, thank you so much, Kyle, and thank you so much, Shannon.